Yo, billboard.
You see that Spotify ad? I watched that thing 100 times.
Folka, also you have a problem now. Now you are full face.
No, he's an international problem.
Yeah.
Now.
Dizzy Waffles on the camera game.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to it. It is POPcast, and we're so happy to be here all the time. And we thank you guys for the support you're giving us from POPcast, shifting it to Pop Radio, losing members of the team, but you guys still stick with us. And as you know, we try and bring a new guest on the show every week. And this week, we got the most valuable player. Her name is Ayanda. I listen to this woman's show on the regular. I used to listen to the show at YFM, and I still listen to the show now. And it's
947.
Which is?
Thank you.
947.
What is it?
It's 947.
Is it Highfields?
No,
it's just
It's 947.
Okay, white boys, we need a name. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing, man. Long time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Are you guys?
What's up? No, me and Ayanda, we scheme for days.
You know what I'm saying?
We see each other on the regular, if not on the club scene. We obviously see each other
On the courts.
On the courts, because we play netball
That's
together
right.
on a regular.
So I want to matanga.
You see the thoughts are out.
No,
there.
we working.
The legs must be
They
out.
must understand.
What's Tanzania on Monday? Saberikura. That's what we do.
And it's not just Mondays, like the whole weekend.
Yeah, the whole
weekend.
week. The whole week,
Yeah.
We're out there on the fitness game. But shout outs to MVP. Thank you for joining us.
For real.
We really appreciate your time. And of course, we're hoping to have a really dope conversation for the day.
New hairstyle. Cosmo,
I mean,
we see
now
you,
we're trying
girl.
to pop it out.
We see you. Ayanda, let's talk about how you feel about the game right now. You were there when things were starting off. You were there when things were transitioning, and we're going through another transition right now. You're DJing, you're a host. How do you feel? And you also had that little segment on Slicker on Live that is not there anymore. Were you scared of the things that were getting said?
No, it wasn't about things getting said. I think it was just the pandemic, not being able to meet up anymore, not being able to do what you guys are doing right here. And also the environment in the game was so low financially for so many of us.
Yeah.
Everyone had to make their own plans. And it's not like I was contributing. I wasn't being paid for being on Slick on Life. It was just fun. We just wanted to do it. But now it's circumstances, people not even being able to get to work, to afford the transport, that one definitely was a setback for most of us. But now we found means of making sure we push either online or wherever we can. I'm just thankful that I still had a voice that I could motivate people to just stay strong, because people were seeing flames.
Yeah. And
People were seeing flames.
We still are.
We're definitely seeing flames. Also, just before we just jump into the conversation, wanted to give a shout out to our venue for today.
Yes.
Tell us.
We are out in Newtown. This place is
Get ribbed.
Get Ribbed. It's owned by Thabiso Khadi. He was our first guest on Pop Radio, so I think it's only poetic for us to actually be here as well for
That's
our
true.
first on-set shoot in a while. And it's nice to kind of see how business is growing. And we're always trying to show love to Black business. So shout out to Thabiso Khadi. Come through, support the homie. It is out in Newtown. It's just under the bridge, just in case you're trying to figure out, right opposite Mary Fitzgerald Square. It's called Get Ribbed. Come through and
It's
and
crazy
support,
because
man.
it's Get Ribbed and he hasn't eaten meat in a long time.
Hey, dog, it's business, man.
It's not about him. It's not about him.
Let's get that. And it's not about us either. So let's get to what it is about, this music, what's been happening. We've been off for like about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we had Pop Radio last week. We had the Uncle Vinny episode. Shout outs to Uncle Vinny that I think his story and everything that came through in that episode, a lot of the kids resonated with that. So thank you for that time. But I think for this past week also, there's just been a lot going on. From a music perspective, we see the likes of Pretty Ugly, who's just been signed to Stay Low, which is a record label owned by Stain Entertainment.
And he's not signed. Like the way he put the caption is he started his own company, then he partnered with them.
Nice.
And he was driving a VW to make the announcement, he in the Beamer. You know what I mean? And so, like, it's a great move.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
only for himself, he says it's for other artists as well, you know?
Nice. I think it's about the growth at the end of the day, you know?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Vaughn, we've talked about Vaughn on the
Yeah.
show. Vaughn used to manage Shane Eagle. Vaughn is managing Lord Cares. And I think Pretty Ugly is getting into that space, you know? Stain Brothers are also the people that do Rocking the Daisies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you also see him in the photos at the Rock Nation Grammy brunches. So he's leveraging it in a big way. And Pretty Ugly was always the guy that everyone says, "Lo manje do talented, lo
Yeah.
manje do nswembu." Like we can't let you short out.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see him just chase it and be very deliberate about what he's going for. So shout outs for that, man.
Yeah, man.
It's also good to see that people are now coming together in the hip hop community.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't happening much.
Yeah.
But certain things really do push us.
Yes.
If it means a pandemic is going to make us partner up, then why not?
We
That's
need
so
to work more
true.
together.
100%. All right, so another artist who's also done something big. I think we speak about him quite often only because, I mean, it's the conversation right now. But shout outs to Nasty's team again for getting him on the Tiny Desk performance. Obviously, that was off of the back of Coming to America coming out. And he was able to then feature his song Black and White on that Tiny Desk performance. Still also out there killing it. Have you watched the movie?
Yeah.
No.
You haven't checked it
Definitely.
out?
No, not yet.
I checked it out. Oh, well, you went to the premiere. Sorry. we
was
didn't
on-
get the invite. My bad.
Sometimes I don't wanna...
How was the premiere
It was
before anybody
beautiful.
watched it?
No,
huh?
it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see people just like in there. And when we went to the premiere, it started off with Tiny Desk performance from
Nice.
Nasty C and
Nice.
all the other African artists that are featured on the
Yeah.
soundtrack. And then Nomzamo gave us a little talk
Oh, nice.
from the phone to us. And then the movie started. La Duma, opening scene, and then he's in every other scene after that.
Yeah.
So it was really great, you know. But we're talking about Nasty. I wonder how Nota feels right now. And that's all I ever ask myself. Every time like shit gets done, it's like, you know, sometimes even if we want something and you plan for things to go a certain way for a certain artist, what you can't do is because an artist doesn't move like you want them to move,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're not going to move.
You understand?
Yeah.
So even that, you look at the podcast thing. Like he's not a person that talks. He's not a person that wants people in the space. He wants to perform and leave.
Yeah.
But again, to you young artists, sometimes you need to get outside of yourself and do something that is not in your character, it takes you out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And his team was like, we need this. And it wasn't something that he did to downplay other artists. He's actually sharing information on how he's done it.
Yeah.
He's linking people up to the railways of breaking into America. And I think that's dope. And I do know that he did not want to do that. Like he also said, he didn't want to act. But sometimes,
You just got to do it.
get out of the comfort zone, bro.
Just
So
gotta
shout outs.
make it happen.
I like his... Oh, sorry.
No.
You're the guest, you go ahead.
You go
I
ahead,
can
girl.
speak.
Yeah.
It's my turn. I really love how Nasty is so musical. I call him musical excellence because if you can rap and sing and know how to put that in a melody. When I was watching Tiny Desk, because obviously now that hip-hop artists are always recording, auto-tune, voice or even chords. But the fact that he was singing it, I was astounded. I didn't know he could sing.
Yeah.
So it was a very good performance for me, and I think he is musical excellence for his generation.
Yeah,
True.
shout out. I like that. Musical excellence. I really enjoy that. And I think also just from an acting excellence, I don't think, maybe we obviously made a hoo-ha about it because we know Nomzamo and she's South African, but I don't think the Americans gave her that much shine. She's actually got a big role in the movie.
And it's the way that the script writer wrote it.
Yeah.
In terms of she came from the sideline and ended up owning it at the end.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. You know, there's
Yeah.
like such a lesson in script writing. I loved it, man.
Yeah, so
I
shout
really
out. If
loved
you
it.
haven't checked it out, please go check out Coming to America. Obviously, everybody's got their own different comments. At the end of the day, it's an Eddie Murphy movie. So you must also just remember
And
that.
it's a comedy.
And it's a comedy. So don't expect it to be like, oh my gosh, it needs to be like...
Lion
Exactly. But it is enjoyable. I still enjoyed it, especially because I made the effort to watch the first one first, just to remind myself where we
Sure.
come from. And then I was like, okay, let's Coming to America for the second installment. It was really awesome. So
I love
shout
the
outs
Ross
to...
feature.
Yes, the Ross feature. Do you know that's Ross's house?
Yes.
So shout out. I was just like, yo,
Wow.
like what a big house.
Yeah.
Jeez, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, we
Yeah.
see you out there getting that money. But yeah, I also just loved all the South African nuances that came through. The Mikasa, the song that came through as well. So that was really awesome. South Africa really like laid its bread in there. It was really dope.
No doubt. Speaking of that, this wasn't in our script, but now that we're speaking about it, Loyiso Kola Netflix special comedy coming out real soon.
That is fire.
Shot at the Zeitsmoker.
Where's that?
It's in Cape Town. It's
Okay.
the gallery that houses a lot of and most of African art. And it changes through seasons because there's so many African artists coming out.
Oh, nice.
So, and he did it there.
Dope.
In Cape Town. And they dressed it up. And obviously it's gonna come out. You guys are gonna see it. But Loyiso has been there for a while. And just to see him flourishing the way he is also nice, you know?
Yeah, it's the Netflix special. He also had the GQ cover as well. So shout outs to Loyiso. We see you, bro. And I'm quite excited to actually watch it. I think it's gonna be dope.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, Loyiso's like a Dave Chappelle. It's more than comedy. It's really outlining things about race, color, learning, unlearning. Like, he really like puts his situations elizwe as umdomnyama. And you kind of like laugh at it because it's funny, but then you realize that actually we shouldn't be going through shit like this, you know? So shout outs to him, man.
Yeah,
Did
man.
you compare him to Dave Chappelle? Ngoba bayalingana.
No, they just got that political shit on him. They do, like they do. Dave Chappelle is not even funny anymore. He's just highlighting real shit. That's true. You know what I mean? For real.
Yeah, big ups, man. Also, from a music perspective, Benchmark have just dropped their second studio album, Power Trip. So go and check it out. The boys have put in a lot of work. I love all the features that have come through on the album as well. They brought out Makhathini. I'm so loving the fact that Max is back in studio and is doing the features. So shout outs to that. They've obviously got Aries on there as well. They've got a really awesome Kid X feature, which I think is really dope. So go and check it out. The boys have put in a lot of work into that album.
So it's an album?
It's an album, 18 tracks.
18.
And 18. I asked them about that because when I interviewed them, I was like, are you guys not scared about, you know, too many songs? And they were like, dude, they also wanted to do kind of 10, 11 songs. And I think they did like a social media vibe, like, yo, how many songs you want on the album? Their own people were just like, give us the music. And then they settled on 18 and it's out there. So it's dope. Go and listen to it. It's really nice.
Do you listen to a lot of hip hop now? Because on the show, you play a lot of things.
Yeah, I play a lot of things.
And she sings along to all the pop music.
And you actually birthed the term that you should own. What's the term? The term that you birthed that everyone now uses.
Moliving.
Fethu.
Yo.
You birthed that term. It should be a t-shirt. You birthed it. Everyone uses it.
I really did. It was something that I thought of in high school with a friend of mine, and then I just carried it on in varsity and music. But listening to hip hop music, I think I listen to songs that are either, like I said, musical excellence. And artists I resonate to a lot more are the ones that tell stories. I mean, like with Flame's new music or the whatchamacallit, what's it called?
The freestyle.
Not the freestyle. I heard the freestyle, but the album that I was listening to that we spoke about in the group. Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive.
Oh, that entire album from beginning to end.
You brought trap back.
Yo.
Dead or Alive, yeah, no
so
shame.
much so. And the only schlep is that they don't have DJ packs. Guys, please get your DJ packs.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
please. Do you know I struggled so much just to get a radio edit? Please, guys, can you give us the DJ packs? We want to play it.
That's
Tell them what
I
a
don't.
DJ pack is, because guys think it's going to be like when they release music, they need to send it to the person. Tell them what the DJ pack.
So in the DJ pack, you have the original song, obviously. You've got the radio edit, so it's clean without the N-word. Please remember that. And then you've got the DJ extenders, which includes the clean version as well as the dirty version.
Sometimes a cappella.
Sometimes a cappella as well as instrumental. That obviously helps for the DJs who'd like to do the ultra mixing on radio. So please give us the full pack because we want to be able to play around with your music in different platforms because it might be just playing your song on the radio or playing it in a mix, but maybe it's the a cappella or maybe it's just the instrumental and then it's in the club or whether it's on like places like, for instance, like Lockdown House Party where I want to play your song, but it's TV, so I need a clean edit, a DJ clean edit. You know what I mean? So
that makes it
it's
hard
places.
for us to want to play songs, and that's why we gravitate to more international hip-hop music.
Because they already come with that.
Exactly.
DJ Double D has got the app and he's got everything. Hit him up and you guys will know. Right? Please do, because we need this.
It up for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's talk about the changes happening in radio.
Oh my gosh.
We'll see what happens next, okay?
No.
Okay?
No. These two stations here, There's been a hell of a lot of a bit of a shake-up.
Really?
First
Even on your side?
It started at 947 before it came to you, my brother.
Yeah.
So obviously we know that there needed to be a replacement for the drive show. And I'm loving how 947 has got the black females that are running the lineups on on 947. My
You
bad.
see, you see,
No,
you see.
no, for me, it's natural because I say it all the time
Yeah.
because I'm on the station.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, from a perspective of radio culture, has always been male head presenters or have always been running the lineups. So for me, I'm enjoying the fact that they've taken the risk and they've said, you know what? It's not even a risk. It's actually just saying these people are powerful and they deserve to be in this position. So starting with Anele in the morning, they've got a brand new entry now with Msizi James that they've poached from 5FM. He's now going to 947. And Ayanda's moving slots as well.
No, I'm not moving. I'm just adding another slot because MVP.
Oh, yes.
Hello.
We'll see what happens next, okay?
So she's on
I
12
see.
to 3, which is awesome. And of course,
What's
Tando.
that? What's the next slot that you add?
Next slot is new and exclusive music with Ayanda MVP. Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, so the two shows obviously that needed to be replaced because the brothers left was Tando is now taking drive and she's taking the Sunday shot, which Euphonic used to have.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, here's another thing that you guys need to know, and I need to say this. The guy that worked at YFM that hired me, his name is Dumel.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is the guy now running 94.7.
947, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this nigga doesn't say much. He's not the guy that wants to be there with the pictures and whatever. But this guy really loves broadcasting.
He does.
For like a level. And what he's doing on that station and what he's going to do is going to fuck shit up.
And I want to give him his flowers as well because I think Dumelo is also one of those people who's always looking for innovative ways.
Yes.
And I say that because the reason why I was on YFM was because of Dumelo.
Yes.
Because he started YTKO.
Yes.
So the fact that YTKO exists today was because of Dumelo. And he then literally I've never met Dumelo in my life. And he gave me a call. He's like, yo, we're trying to do something real. You're a hip hop DJ. You're a female. And I want a female involved in this. And that's how I got my shot. You know what I mean? So shout out to Dumelo for always looking to see what's hot and what's next. And he's very aware of where the
Even
culture
you.
Yeah.
He knows how to
You
scout
started there.
talent.
Yeah.
You started at Y as well.
He sent me a DM on Facebook.
I
was
mean,
like,
look at that.
You lying. Look at me now.
Look at that. So all of our careers have been honed by this guy. So we need to give Dumelo his flowers because
Absolutely.
he's literally like paving the way to what is next and what's new within radio. And he's doing that now with 947, heading up a new vibe.
They are going to kill.
to say women
They're gonna
can
kill.
run radio.
They're going to
Never
kill.
ready for us.
And on the real, as a man, and in these times, nobody wants to listen to a nigga no more. Let me be honest.
You're right.
No. Let me be honest. In these times, what we're going through, a man like that those days of niggas running shit is dead. We're in a new phase where you guys, as the true leaders, need to actually lead us.
Yeah.
Because it's been too testosterone driven and we see where it's gotten us. You guys now have to take the pants. Niggas, a guy doing a show or presenting and they don't have the other energy, it just doesn't sit well these days.
Ayanda, I also have a question for you. Sorry.
No problem.
It's not that I didn't acknowledge you.
No
You're
problem.
absolutely right. We just don't have anything else to say.
It's all right.
I also wanted to ask you, so now that 947 has also included all of these new faces, we also see that all the primetime shows are being run by Black people, as well as even on the weekend where you've got Hulisani, who's also doing the breakfast radio on the weekend.
Tony B.
Tony B's doing the afternoon drive on the weekend.
Wow.
Ayanda's now taken a weekend slots as well. And it seems as though things are kind of changing from a color perspective.
Yes.
What does that mean for the music that's going to happen on 947 as well?
The music has always been derived from the Billboard charts on 947. So our prime objective is to make sure we play hits that everyone will know that they will hear in ads. I mean, with that song by, what are they called? BTS, Dynamite. Samsung hopped on with that song and now they've taken it to the top with it. So our station always broadcasts popular music. Anything that is on the charts is seen as popular music. And that's why 947 New and Exclusive with Ayanda is coming through, because that's where the platform is opening up to get music from independent artists, from artists that are not in the Billboard charts. Because we always want to give our commercial audience music that they know, music that they can
Exactly.
relate to. So it's never really about us pushing the music for the country, but more the movement of the sound that the whole world is listening to, because that's our standpoint as Prime Media. And then I also wanted to touch on the fact that when I was still back starting off at Y, when I used to listen to 947, they already had a female lineup at some point. It was Anele in the morning, then it was Stacey Norman. Pabi used to do lunchtime.
Yeah.
It was just not as highlighted as it was before.
And it wasn't really this black.
It really wasn't.
Because you could be the woman, but it was still not black.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing now. Like,
it is the huge thing. And I think it's also because we, as Black people, learned how to talk to people of different races.
Sure.
And that's where the broadcasting comes in. Because I didn't want to just say, I want to just speak to my YFM market. I also want to learn how to speak to other people's parents or other people's like mates or friends. I mean, we all went to varsity. We all had the same similar varsity struggles, finding parking, losing your student card. Content is always the same. You just need to speak to people in the same manner.
No doubt.
And it just so happens that the people on this lineup know how to do it really well with different races.
No doubt.
So we pat ourselves on the back for that.
You got it. And me, obviously, leaving YFM for my slot, you know, I knew it was going to happen when Dumelo left. I knew it was going to happen. And another thing with my slot is, really, I play music and I'm on radio, but I use the YFM platform to spread conscious rhetoric. My show shouldn't have been on air. The things I was broadcasting, the things I was saying, challenges people. You know what I mean? I took a lot of things of the lifestyle that I follow and the accounts that I follow, race, blackness, indigenous cultural culture. I would play these things on air. And shout outs to YFM, I still could say, yo, what up, my nigga, on air. These are the freedoms that I have there, you know? And I knew that I was skating a thin line. And without Dumelo, I knew that it was going to be rough to convince these other people who are different races to hear and see the value in what I bring for these young kids. If you got kids dancing and jumping around for 12 hours a day on a Sunday, I would at least come with the Kamako handle. You understand?
Let's talk about
the Kamako handle. Then I'll give it to you on the bed and the duvet of hip hop.
Nice.
And I knew that my days were numbered. I knew, you know? And still, I'm very scared because I don't know which other station will take this rhetoric. And at this point in my life, and with the world and the way it's moving, I don't want to speak about anything else. I just want to speak about real Black issues because this is what it is. We haven't had that kind of thing. And America can do it, and we can't.
Yeah.
You know, when we get conscious, it's like when's I'm.
It's like, oh, careful.
Yeah, well,
don't step on those toes.
That's why I love the fact that we are taking advantage of the internet. This is really, you know, and that's why it's almost like an Aries thing. That's why Aries is so important.
It's 100% important.
Indeed.
And he's representing, obviously, the kids who don't have that voice and obviously saying what they are feeling. And that's exactly what you were doing on radio. And outside of that, I think you've flown the flag that you wanted to do. You know what I mean? I think you've done the work. And sometimes things end and it's unfortunate because we're going to miss hearing you on the radio. I used to listen to you guys when I was driving to my own show. Obviously, I couldn't listen to the whole show because we're on at the same time.
Wow,
but I'd listen,
that's so
listen to the first hour. You know, I'd listen to Fifla and then maybe I'd listen to like...
Fifla nuts. She's the best DJ right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
It's all
right now, Fifla is fucking shit up. Dimples, Fifla's fucking you guys up right now. I'm just saying.
Shout out.
But obviously, if I get an opportunity to like listen to like one or two words, then I'd listen to you guys. So it's going to be sad to obviously have that off of the radio.
Yeah.
And I think, look, all the voices are important. Everybody else is also leaving YFM as well. Sabi's leaving. Libs of the Villain also says he's leaving. There's a couple of, the Crook also left. Who else? Scoop obviously was mentioned. There was
It's a wipeout.
No, there was a couple of people. Let me actually get the press release just to be sure. But there was literally a few people who are leaving. Now, my question to you, Scoop, obviously because you're there, I don't really want to put you in like a weird position, but Why is it that there was a big bunch of you that all kind of left at the same time? Is there an upset or was there a different change in direction that you maybe weren't happy with?
I don't know about everybody else. And I don't want to put the station in disrepute because they've done so much for me.
Yeah.
Actually, they haven't done a lot for me. But it was great to be on it.
Just to clear it up, it's Sabi, it's Alto V's, it's Anati, Jess B, The Crook, Lebza the Villain, Mellow Talk, as well as DJ Zero and Scoop.
Yeah. So as I said, they really haven't done a lot for me, but it's great to have that platform. I really loved Sunday, like Sunday and Amanje, and working with Winter is amazing, right? I think, like with sports and whatever, when a manager leaves, even in corporate advertising agencies, like when someone leaves, they leave with the team.
Yeah.
The soul of YFM was Dumelo. And he understood a lot of things that I think management right now has no fucking clue about.
Okay.
And that's really what's going down.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean that because this management doesn't have a clue of what Dumelo was about, they can't actually imprint in us what they are about.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, it's going to be difficult, but it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely the soul of the show or the station was Dumelo. And when everybody kind of felt like he's gone, we could feel that he's gone.
Yeah.
Not just the presence, but even in treatment.
Yeah. I understand that a lot. I think also because with my time that I've had at 5FM, we've also just changed management over the years. And it feels as though every time there's a new manager, the new manager wants to imprint their vibe and then say, okay, let me shake it up. This is what I want to kind of do. And over the years, it's always like a bit of, okay, let's adjust to what this new guy wants because now we also need to play whatever's happening. And it's a tricky time in radio because I really think there's going to be a big shake-up everywhere. Not necessarily just, I think the only two stations that have announced their changes has just been 947 and
How
Y.
are you guys looking?
There's also a bit of shake-up that's also happening at 5. I can't mention it obviously right now until the press release is out. But obviously when that does happen, we'll hear about it. And I think what is happening in radio as a whole is it's a new dawn, it's a new era of where radio is supposed to be. Because I think management was also starting to see that it's slightly losing its flavor because something is missing and there's a lot of old radio mentality that's on as opposed to thinking about how do we keep radio but also keep it fresh with what's happening right now. And I think that's where management is kind of now sinking in and thinking how do we better it?
I think we lack with teaching the young and growing them or preparing them into the space that we're in. Maybe the difference is that we were more hungry and more passionate. Because when I was on Y, before I was like even getting excited to be in the shower and prepping, and I'm like, I want to do this, and writing it down. There's no hunger from the younger generation to want to host the show. Ifame, abayifunayo phela.
Sure.
Ifame. So you hear it as well. When I listen sometimes, I'm like, why are you
making noise?
What are you? You're still linking
We are
the
rasa.
same thing. So it's just teaching them how to manage your content, how to be radio, because it's not about you. That's what some people don't get. When it comes to radio, it's not about you. The whole point is to make sure you sell the music, you sell the station. So we need to train young generations, and it's not just going to Boston Media House. They will teach you how to use the mechanics, but they won't teach you how to develop content. That's what we lack. In South Africa, we lack content creators that can teach people how to do content.
Do you know the one
Teach
person I can
people.
mention from a radio perspective who doesn't get sung for his praises? Grant Nash.
Grant Nash.
Grant Nash has been
Give him flowers too.
like you're mentioning, Dumelo, obviously a visionary within radio. Grant Nash is that
Been a
guy
visionary
who knows
also.
how to teach radio. From 5FM to 947, that's why I
Is it the
also-
same one on Anele and Grant?
Yes, Grant and Anele, that same Grant literally
He's amazing.
understands how to teach, how to hone skills. So big ups to
He helped me come up with Office Overshare.
Nah, for real, he's dope.
He was like,
Also, Mo Flavor
Yes.
is
Yes.
crazy on the DJing
Yeah.
tip. Like
Yeah.
this nigga is umnando ulalela
Clean.
Mo. Yabo,
Clean.
umnando ulalela Mo.
So it's going to be interesting for 2021. Ooh, I always say 2020 because it's like that year.
It's the same thing, yeah?
we always hold on to it.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear how the changes are going to be for 2021. And I think, I guess we'll be
We'll
strong
see.
and we'll get through it. But also for 2021, as I'm mentioning that the years have just been a bit of a shake-up, obviously, well, first let me actually say, let's pay our condolences to those that we've lost this past week. Firstly, King's Weletini. What's the term? I don't want to say it wrong.
Isilo senhlanga zonke asisekho. Umthomkhulu uwile. Yabo, those terms, you know.
So he passed away from COVID-related symptoms this past week, complications rather, and it's sad because I think the Zulu nation was still holding on, hoping that he would pull through, and it is unfortunate, especially because I think the Zulus always have this sabantu benkosi and inkosi yethu ayisekho, you know what I mean? So it's quite sad. So condolences to the Zulu kingdom for that.
Those are the two monarchies left in Africa. Ethiopia had one, it's the oldest one, but the two monarchies that were left were Swaziland and Zululand.
Yeah.
Zululand was closely knitted with the British, but Swaziland is still sovereign. That's why it's the Kingdom of Swaziland.
Yeah.
You know, we lost a lot, man. And normally when royalty passes away, it's known before, and the things that when royalty passes away, the lineage of who's going to take it on is already announced. You know, it's so you've watched it in movies or documentaries or whatever. When the king or queen passes, they announce then the queen has passed. Long live the. So the baton is passed right then and there.
Yeah.
So now this is crazy because there was no. The king has passed away. Long live the. ... So who's going to carry this lineage forward is actually the crazy thing, you know? And you can imagine if normal people go through fighting for wills over who's going to get what.
Yay!
Can you imagine?
They're going to fight for that kingdom. Yeah, it's going to
Who
be...
Game of Thrones?
A lot.
A lot.
Without the wars.
Yeah, please. Also, in condolences, we've just lost Menzi Ngubane.
Eesh. What's the tune?
That was painful for me. I think any South African who's grown up watching South African TV, whether it was Generations, whether it was Yizo Yizo, whether it was any of the shows that he was acclaimed for, you had a point in your life where you watched Menzi on TV.
And you were scared of him.
And you were scared of him.
Oh, you had a crush.
I mean, they were
just
there
scared.
too.
We were too young. How can we have crushes back then?
You grow with it. He's that guy.
Yamkhumulesha ipomade emukhishimbi. Yamkhumulesha ipomade.
So it's unfortunate that we've lost such a great actor.
Yeah.
And it's sad because I really felt like he really fought through his kidney disease. And I thought, oh, he's got a second chance at life. He's really fighting for this thing. He really wants to still be here for the South African artscape. But now that we've lost him, it's like, geez, okay, now he didn't survive it. And having to move forward, it's always so weird to kind of fill that void because he was just that great of an actor that is like, I don't think anybody else could be Menzi Ngubane.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So condolences to his family as well. Somebody else that we lost this past week was Noxolo Makashala. Also a really great actor in her time. You've known her from the likes of Cha-Cha. She was also on Generations, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she did a lot of drama series.
Yeah, she did a lot of drama series.
She did her thing.
And she also passed away this past week. And it's quite unfortunate because it's like, why now? 2021, 2020, what's happening? I really felt like we had gone through that bad year and we wanted just like, sunshine and roses. And 2021 is kind of proving that it ain't over yet.
It ain't, bro.
It ain't over yet.
Were they both COVID-related cases?
We don't know about
We're not
Nokolo.
too sure as yet. As it stands, it hasn't been released as to what the cause of it was. The only one that we know of was Kingswelethini. But we're not too sure as yet for Menzi Ngubane and Nokolo as yet. But condolences to the family. I think it's a tough time to go through.
And it's always least expected. I think we always focus on, Ushonile, oh my goodness, Ushonile, but death happens. So in 2021, a lot of my family members also passed on, especially in KZN. But it wasn't, I didn't say, oh, this pandemic, or this, or that, because if you always link it to something, then it feels like it's going to follow us forever. Because this pandemic is not going anywhere anytime soon. So maybe it was their time, or God was like, now it's time for you to join me upstairs.
Yeah.
But may their souls rest in peace.
Yeah, 100%. Something else that also kind of shook us up this past week, the Wits protests.
Sure.
That was so
And this
sad.
is something that happens, it feels like it's something that's going to happen every year.
Yeah.
Fees Must Fall is a very relevant conversation. And I think it is something that we need to speak about because education in South Africa is actually very expensive. And it's not to say that it shouldn't be held at a certain regard, but with regards to paying, but there needs to be some level of assistance that's available to people who can't afford to pay the high level fees, but they want to at least give themselves a future worthy of going to Wits University or worthy of going to UJ or worthy of going to a UCT.
I just saw the shots, né? And sometimes it's hard for me to like keep abreast with what's happening because I'm protecting the energy of myself and there's so much going on. So it was still about fees.
It was about fees, and it was basically just the students who were protesting saying that they need assistance with registration, and obviously just, I think for them it's also just a financial space right now, especially because lockdown affected a lot of families. They can't, a lot of their families have been taken or have become unemployed, so they can't afford to go to school, but they want to go to school. But I think that's the thing that people are missing is that they're not saying that they want to cause a ruckus. They want education. They want to be better people. They just can't afford it because lockdown screwed things up.
And then the crazy thing about this education thing is people go fighting for it and wanting it, and then they end up with the degrees and they sit at home. Even though they know that they've got counterparts who have 2 degrees and graduated sitting at home, people still want to wake up and go wash and go somewhere. That's the last resort, you know?
That's the sad part is that society tells you need education to get your foot through the door. But when you have education, it still doesn't get you through the door.
I don't think our education system was set up in a cycle because now you go to varsity, you study, you get your degree, but you're not guaranteed a job. It's the government's job to make sure that they can open up spaces or departments or whatever they're trying to do. So like I said with the content in radio, when people are not trying to teach or open up spaces, we're also not trying to, or the government or the country isn't trying to open up opportunities because you can't get a job unless you have experience. And if you don't have that experience, awunamsebenzi. And then inasfas uzoyibhatala kanjani. I was in that situation.
Word.
You know what I mean? I was a NSFAS student. I don't come from a wealthy background. So I was there NSFASing and then radio found me, fortunately. And I'm still paying back my NSFAS to this day.
Dog.
I'm telling you. Because you can't just pay NSFAS in jail, but also now think about it, people that are on NSFAS years ago, because NSFAS for me took like 2 months for me to get my registration paid and my textbooks, everything was sorted. Because I think the numbers back then were not as much as they are now, 10 years later. But now, it's even harder to even get a NSFAS. My niece is now my responsibility. And I don't even know how my 50,000 for the first semester. You're just like, what is the school doing? Or what is the institution doing? And my question is, where does the money go? If I'm paying, how does it work? I know we're trying to maintain the upkeep of the universities or the environment and pay these lecturers.
The universities, besides cutting the grass, what are they
Shame
doing?
at Tax University of Pretoria, the upkeep was high quality. Okay. Well, when I was there back in the day from 2011 to moving forward. But that's what I'm trying to say is, what are we trying to build, or is our country even seeing it? Because they just want to keep us busy as the youth. They just want to put us in school, keep us busy. Put us in varsity, keep us busy. But now kids can only go to school once a week. Even teachers are complaining that they can't even teach kids now in basic secondary education because there's no time. Because now the pandemic has ruined it so much for our country. But is our country even looking out for the youth of this space? Because Baning, how many people are popping babies every day?
That's crazy. I was talking about this on the radio show that I'm not going to be doing at the end of March. The fact that we got 500 billion, right? There are 1,000 million in 1 billion, roughly, I think, right? The population of South Africa is
59
million, meaning everybody could have gotten 1 million and they still would have been changed. 500 billion. Bunginokwazi ukunika wonke umuntu 1 million. Kube kushintsha. Imagine that country. And for me, it's but guys, you get it. We got 500 bill.
Who got it? We've also got historical debt.
The question is, who got the 500 bill?
And load shedding.
Hey, and load shedding.
Thank you.
Yo.
There's so much we need to just patch, but we're not fixing. We're patching it, actually. That's what we're doing.
And that's the thing is that how is South Africa trying to build itself? You're right. Where is this money going? How is it bettering our system? Which places do we feel safe in? Because if I'm paying a certain amount of money for me to go to school, hopefully that's also going to protect me and my safety. And I'm mentioning the safety aspect because during the Wits protest, there was a child that was killed in the protest by somebody who's supposed to be protecting society. Now, my question comes in is, why are you out there, number one, shooting at students? Number two, using real bullets. As if these people are criminals, as if you're trying to put them behind bars, as if they are running a drug syndicate where you need to make sure that dead or alive, we need to get this guy. My thing is, yes, I get it, the kids are protesting. It might become unruly, but why do you have to shoot and why do you have to use real bullets? I don't understand why that is the rhetoric for South Africa for them to control the situation.
And Ibrahim is always happening like at Bram. Remember also the Fees Must Fall. It's that area like.
I don't even think it's the area. I just think it's because it's just right there. The thing is, it's the accessible place because it's right opposite to the entrance to Wits. It just so happens that it's close to Braamfontein. I don't think it has anything to do with Braam. My issue comes in with how are we choosing to deal with these situations? Why are the police being called in? If it's a Wits protest, why is a security company not coming in? Do you understand?
I got you.
Why are they
got
not
you,
dealing with the issue? Why are South African police coming in and shooting at innocent people? And everybody's got the right. That's why South Africa has a Bill of Rights. We have the right to protest. We have the right to strike. Why is it that the children can't do that? And they're fighting for education so they can be better society members. They're not fighting so that they can be criminals on the weekend. Do you understand?
100%, cuz.
I don't understand the thinking.
100%.
It's a tricky time that we live in, and I think South Africa needs to take a second look at how we're dealing with issues. And of course, like you're saying, if we had an opportunity to get a piece of that pie, because we all know we didn't get a piece of the pie, if we got a piece of the pie of the 500 bill, best believe everybody would be in a better position to think differently and to act differently. Because if they had the money, they wouldn't be protesting.
They wouldn't feel suppressed.
No doubt.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
No doubt. No
It's
doubt.
the
How are we dealing
intimidation.
with this?
Cops are very easily not easily approaching. What am I saying? Cops like approaching people that they can intimidate and
Yes.
roadblocks. It is always usually the females in the luxury cars that they will start with
Yes.
first. And with students, people that don't have any weapons to fight against or fight for, and they don't really know their rights, but they might know that they're not doing something right. So police will always go for the people that are weak, that they can be stronger than. Because everybody has their own complex. In your own workspace, you also go through your own problems. So you'd rather take it out on other people. That's what I believe. Because it happens like that. So
No
it is
doubt.
unfortunate. I mean, I also saw somebody being attacked, and it was a street vendor, just literally on the side of the road. You know those guys who sell like keep and chips
Yeah.
and things like that. Literally, a homie's just chilling there trying to sell his tomatoes. And keep 4 JMP vans came rushing in just to chase this guy. I'm like, he's one guy. His supply that he has on his table is probably only going to make him about 500 rand at the end of the day. Why are 5 police cars coming in to chase this one person? And you're right, it's about intimidation.
Why do they do it to us though? I never see them doing it to other people.
And somebody tweeted that this past week. A white parent, someone from Tonder, had actually tweeted and said, put our white kids in the front line because they never shoot at our kids.
They shoot them with cameras.
Yeah.
They're like, I'll take that from you. Stand here.
Let me help you.
Kodwa thina kuthiwa so. Ukubona?
It's unfortunate that we're still being oppressed 2021.
And I wanna just shift the mood a little
It's
bit because
fine.
yours
Let's do that.
is crazy. And we haven't spoken about this, and we always talk about how entertainers need to diversify their portfolios and get money in other areas. And we haven't talked about him for a while because Umzala really fucked December up for a long time, doing a genre that he was not synonymous with. But everybody in the genre needed him for the views. We're talking about Ricky, guys.
yeah.
And what he did at Mall of Africa with these basketball kids and the slops, that line, those kids, the theme.
The movement.
Dude, for me, I was like, damn, like this is like this nigga's fucking the game up. And Utule.
Yeah.
You understand? I just feel like it wouldn't be right for us to not talk about it as much as as much as I'm like a basketball person, and I wished it was me doing it. I wished it was me. So there you go. But I'm happy that he's done it. And he's done it for so many other things.
Yeah.
But that line, those kids, shout outs, man.
Shout outs to Ricky. I mean, like you're saying, he's the one guy who was able to diversify himself throughout the culture and still stay relevant and still be the hip hop act on the piano lineup. You know what I mean? And still being able to transcend and think further and say, how else am I still keeping hip hop alive? Because we need that. Because it feels as though some people are also starting to get a little, not necessarily scared, but it's like, okay, how are we navigating? We're not really sure how to kind of shake the system up. And hip hop is about changing the status quo. And that's exactly what Ricky's been doing. So you're right. Shout outs.
I think it's also he helps his community, especially the younger generation. He gives back.
Yeah.
I don't know any other older artist that does the same.
Yeah.
And that's how he keeps regenerating his youth for himself.
Yeah.
When he always keeps feeding. Every time I see Vinny with Ricky, I'm just like, my heart smiles.
Yeah.
Because I know that he's trying to make sure that he leaves something behind. He's trying to make a legacy. Even if it's not in his own family, it's throughout the community. That's what I commend him for. Like, everybody wants to be Ricky's Ricky's friend. Like, you always want to be homies with the guy,
showcase.
you know?
Yeah.
So, shout out to
And
him.
I think also it's because Ricky's got that spirit, man. He's got that heart, that big heart that a lot of artists sometimes kind of lose along the way. Ricky always remembers, and that's what I said in the Vinny interview as well. For some reason, like, Ricky will meet one person, and if he wants to remember you, best believe it's Okumbula, and you'll be shocked the next time, like, oh my God, Ricky remembered me. Because he understands the importance of creating those relationships and keeping them alive, you know?
Showcase.
Yeah, so shout out
Imagine
to
if
Ricky.
all the other artists did that.
Did the same thing.
The world,
it would have been so
this
dope.
country in hip hop would be such a big thing.
It would be
right
so
now.
dope. Like, Focalisticas.
Yo! Billboard! Trilla.
You see that Spotify ad? I watched that thing 100 times.
Foca, also you are a problem now. Now you are full fledged.
No, he's an international problem.
Yeah.
Now.
International problem.
No ways, guys.
From Garankua to Paris, okay?
Wow.
Come on. That Billboard entry, I think, was also just big time because that Billboard chart specifically looks at what world music is doing. And the fact that he did a premiere at number 16.
Nigga, you know how hard that is, nigga.
And he's climbing the chart. It's not like he's just chilling there. Every week, he keeps going up. So shout outs to Focalistic for that one. I really think he's killing it. He's also number 1 on the Nigerian music Apple charts.
Crazy, my nigga.
He just did the Spotify video with Kamumpela, who did the choreography.
Yes.
And I'm loving how the world is accepting piano music. You know what I mean? I think it's really awesome. And I think we're literally going to take South Africa to the top.
No, do you play piano in your sets?
If it's a corporate function and I am the only DJ booked, yeah. I mean, hip-hop DJs can play any genre, really.
No doubt.
I say this all the time. People think I'm a hater.
No, it's true.
House DJs can't play hip-hop.
They can play shit, just their house.
But isn't that like not right? If you guys can play other genre, but other genres can't play us,
But it's not our fault.
whose fault is it?
It's
It
theirs.
is. They must
We're
learn.
not wanting to learn.
Sometimes you also just need to let the guys do what they do. There's different categories. I choose to be a solely hip-hop DJ.
Yeah.
PH chooses to be open format.
No doubt.
You understand?
Speaking of DJing, these guys are not really like the guys that move the needle. They are the guys that look at something and maximize on it. I'm talking about Major League.
So,
I have just seen their, what is that mix they
Balcony
have?
mix.
Balcony mix.
But now the Tanzania one.
Yeah.
What I loved, I saw it for the first time today, and I don't know if they've been doing this for a while.
They have.
They play, then they shot the scenery of the place. So while the beats are happening, you have scenery of the place, wherever they at. They've been doing this for a while?
Yep.
Yeah.
My niggas, I'll be honest with you guys. You always were hashtagging other trends. You have now birthed one.
Nice.
You, Marco. Shout outs to you niggas.
Yeah.
You got one now.
No lie.
Kade, nikibela kwezinye train. You've just built your own cart now. And you've got your own access key. Ngigcwele le yashandisi. Ngiyibone izolo. And I was like, oh my fuck, you guys are killing it.
Yeah.
Shout out. And then bringing the guest along, making sure that they put someone on, and also getting into that person's market. Just making the circle bigger all the time.
Yeah.
Shout outs Major League, man. Shout outs. Because I never looked at you guys as innovators. I always looked at you guys as
Recreators.
You know what I mean? Recreators, not innovators. But this one, bruh, I give you salute, bruh. I give you salute. And I also see you out there with the starter. I also see you wearing starter now. You're gonna be pushing starter gear. So shout outs to you guys, man.
Shout outs to everybody. Shout outs to Ayanda MVP for joining us today.
Yeah.
She is our guest for POPcast. Thank you so much for your time.
It is really nerve-wracking when you have things staring at you, cameras
Right.
staring at you. Because
I
I'm just
thought you'd be used to
being
it by
myself.
now.
No.
You spoke
I'm
so
never
well,
used to
though.
it. I'm very episodal about things that happen on screen because now I have to think about how I look when I'm pronouncing it. Because on radio, I enunciate. So
Yeah, you
my
do.
facial expressions all do this. So now I
Yeah.
have to like calm down.
You look
Yes.
amazing, by the way. Are you
Thank
working
you.
out? What's going on?
I am working out like you wouldn't believe. I actually pulled a groin muscle and it actually hurt me because I had
Yeah?
to like sit out for a week.
You look amazing.
Now I know how soccer players feel when they're out for the season.
There we
I'm
go.
sorry.
But don't worry, MVP is not out for the season. She's actually back
No.
for a new season.
That's right.
Check her out 947. She's still got her show.
2 times a week.
12 to 3 with me, Ayanda
Yeah,
MVP.
Monday to Friday.
Monday
and
to
a
Friday.
Sunday
And
to
then
With
a
a
Friday.
Sunday. Yeah,
Yes.
Saturday is my Sunday.
Yeah, so
And
if
then
you want to
Sunday is
hear
my
new
Monday.
music, obviously go and check out what's happening with Ayanda with 947. Scoop's no longer on the radio. I'm still here though. You know?
We
got
never
it.
know though, because you might
You
surprise
never
us.
know. Look, B, I'm a creative genius. And I think even if I'm not on radio, trust me, there'll be a platform we'll be holding down. We'll let you guys know about that later.
Watch the space.
The objective is ownership right now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
objective right now, that's what we did with POPcast.
Yeah.
That's what we did with POP. The objective right now is ownership. To be honest with you guys, you know, we use the links that we have, but if we need to push the culture forward, we definitely need to step out of our comfort zones and own some platforms so we cannot be dictated to on how to come through.
Yeah.
And it's happening. It's actually really, really happening. And I'm shouting out to everybody that's doing that.
Sorry, on that note, for people that always send mails or messages, how can I do something before people can even give you advice? Because now we're not working on advice, we're working on what you've got already that we
Word.
can help you or assist you with.
Word.
If you want to be on radio, don't ask me how you can get onto radio. If you're
Have
not
a
even,
YouTube radio
if
show
I don't
already.
see you Insta-storing links on radio, then I'm not going to take you seriously.
Exactly.
If you don't want it or if you really want it, then you will definitely show it.
Make a plan.
That's right.
Talking about ownership, we also have our next episode of Pop Radio, which is going to be coming up next week, Tuesday. So check it out. Nadia Nakai is our special guest. It's gonna be really
Hey,
awesome.
friend.
Yeah, you guys, they like this.
All right, so we're still here. Check us out. We've got the social Tonton as well as the thread count with Mr. Scoop.
And then
So we can't do social tonton
we can't do thread count.
because load shedding.
Yeah, Mzansi Africa ingxaki zenu can solve it, man. You're messing up our show now.
So as we tried to shoot it, the lights went off. So
But Cos's look is so on right now. Girl, you look amazing.
I mean,
Oh my God, we can't deal.